What's up, guys? This is Coach Jordan, and today we're going to be going over how to be an unstoppable attacking midfielder. Now, please note that in this video, I won't be going over the basic attacking mid kind of stuff. Basically, that's like when you're not having the ball where you should be, if the ball's on the right side, move this way. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm teaching you tips and little tricks and secrets on basically how to go to a different level playing that, how to be smarter, and how to basically take your game to next level. Please enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out my 2-week program on how to control the ball like Iniesta. Don't forget, the only way to get that is by emailing me, letting me know, and I will respond to you as quick as possible. And remember, it is free. Alright, let's get into this. Let's look at the role and duty. One of the things you'll probably need to be doing is switching out with the striker. While he comes back, you go up. If you stay where you are, he can stay where he is, but playing in this position means that you have to be unpredictable. You have to be. So getting your striker on board with that, having him drop back, drag a defender with him, and you run into that space. That's how you can switch with your striker. That's how you can confuse the defense. Making runs beyond the striker, that's something that you're going to need to do, because if the striker is being marked heavily, or if he's just trying to hold someone back, what you need to be doing is looking what ways can you affect the game, because as your role dictates that you have to. So making runs beyond the striker, switching out with the striker, this is stuff you're doing because you want the ball. You want to create something for your team. That should be your mentality the entire time. Playing this position, you should be trying to create for the team in any way you can. And that includes a build-up play. Try to be a part of build-up play. Doesn't mean come back and try to pass around with your defense or your far back midfielders, defensive mids, but try to build up play in the opposition area. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do some link-up play to try to break the defense down. But you should be a part of any goal that happens for your team. You should be a part of it. That's how important you are. You need to be constantly moving. It's constant movement. As I said, making runs beyond the striker, that's one of the stuff about constant movement. You should be looking to exploit space in behind, exploit space in between the midfield and the defense. I'm going to get into that later in the video. But yeah, you need to be constantly moving. It's not a job where you can just stand there and just be like, I'll just wait for them to think of something, do something amazing. Like, no, you have to be constantly ahead. You have to be constantly ahead of your teammates. You need to be constantly thinking about what's the next thing to do. Constantly thinking about, where should I be? If the ball's over here, where should I be? That's stuff that you should be thinking. You shouldn't be standing unless it's a tactical decision. But besides that, you should be constantly moving. Moving to get the ball, moving to make space for your teammate. Just constant moving. There's no defense presence. Whenever you're defending, you should be defending the same way as a striker does, which is pressuring the offensive line, but you should not be going back and helping your defense in midfield. Unless, granted, like, let's say, you're defending a 1-goal lead, 3 minutes left, everyone's pushing up on the other team, then yeah, by all means go back, help your team defend. But besides that, stay up with the striker, because you're too important to be coming back and then having to go up. That's not being smart at that point. That's just wasting energy. When you know what your role is, fulfill that role. Alright, now we're going to go over spaces that you should be occupying. Basically just spots that maybe you didn't think about were good places where you can confuse the opposition defense, beat players, places you can run into that maybe you thought that you shouldn't have been doing, or you just never thought of it. But let's go over that. Like I said before, space in between the mids and the defense. This is a crucial gap in between the defense and mid. It's very important that you utilize this, because every team, between defense and the midfield and the forwards, there's always a gap. And that gap is space. For you, that should be the dream. That's the dream for you. Any attacking midfielder, any player, space is the dream. And you're this color right here. Yep, you're this one right here. Just sit right here. Sit right here and ask for one of line passes, a passing lane pass. You see, there's no one blocking it. Midfield can't pick you up because they're staring at the guy with the ball, and you're behind them. Defense aren't going to do anything because they're in a defensive line. They're not going to break that up. If they do, it's going to be interesting how they do it. But right here, you're a threat. You're a threat. There's confusion. Which I'm saying that again, but constant good confusion for you is when the defense is confused. That's good for you. That's what you want. So as I said, you should be in between these two lines, and in between here, you can cause all kind of havoc. You can move in between there, then show for a pass, and immediately once you turn, you're on goal. But there are also other things you can do. You can, as I say, some of the players, I'll give you an example, like Hazard. He has a special move at Chelsea. He does, like, he'll when the ball's being passed towards him, he'll sometimes let it go through and it'll go straight to his striker. He'll be wondering, oh, how did he do that? It's like he looked. He lined himself up. He was in this space, and all he had to do was just let it go through. Striker receives it, he gets it back. Use this space, guys. This is very important. Trust me. Just be in this space constantly when you're attacking. What I mean by that, by attacking, I mean if the ball's on the wing and they're trying to cross it back, if the defense on the other team is towards inside their own box, if they're pushed back to their own box, you should still be in between the mid and the defense because that's still space. So if a fullback or the winger needs to find someone to pass it to, you're right there. Just raise your hand or even call for the ball with your voice, whatever you have to do, but you're in that space. And you have enough time, depending on how your first touch is and what you exactly do, you'll have enough time to make a real difference in the game. So that's one way, using the space in between the mid and the defensive line. Alright, making runs beyond the defense, this was pretty much what I had in mind. The center back and the fullbacks, there's space once again in between there. There's that lane right there. Run in there. Run in there. This isn't for you to get the ball. This is for you to drag a defender out or get the ball. When you run, the defense, they have to pick. Is he going to stay with this striker? Or what's he going to do? Is he going to leave it for this defender? This defender know to get with this striker? No one knows. They're all confused. All they know is that you're making a run and someone needs to track you. When you make a run, your fullback, your winger, anyone on your team will definitely see it. I guarantee you it. I guarantee it. They will see it and they will make that pass. If they don't, I guarantee you, if the 5 times you'll do it, they'll pass it to you 4 times. They will have to because it'll be such a good run, they will need to. But as I said, you're an attacking midfielder, so you're not a striker. That's why I wouldn't say have you run between the center backs. That's for the striker to do. The attacking mid, run over here, in between the fullbacks and the center backs. Because usually the fullbacks are usually fast. They're usually fast, so if you can take them out of the equation with this run, and when you receive the ball, that's just one big, well, it's terrible for the other team, but for you, it's just a little win before you can get to the big win. So yeah, look to be running in between the center backs and the fullbacks. Now let's look at attributes that you need in this role. Ball control. Ball control is, as you guys could well understand, is very important for this role. And by ball control, I also mean dribbling. Dribbling and ball control are the same thing. Because dribbling, you're controlling the ball and keeping the ball away. So you're controlling the ball. So for ball control, what you would need to be having consistently are key dribbles, which, if those you don't know, key dribbles are basically dribbles that help set up a goal or almost a goal. You need to be dribbling, challenging players. You have to. It's your job. You have to challenge players. If you're not that type of attacking midfielder, this is something you need to get. Because if you can't dribble, you're going to be less of a threat as someone who can dribble. Yeah. So notice that key dribbles, that's something that you need to be. I'm not saying that you should absolutely be keeping track of it during a game, but you should be dribbling at least five times a game. By that I mean you should have at least 5 key dribbles to set up someone on your team, or just to score a goal yourself. But you should have key dribbles at least. In fact, I say at least 10 every game. Passing. You need to be an excellent passer to be attacking mid. You have to be. If you're not, then it's going to be easier for opponents to mark you, to stop you. Because if you're not going to pass the ball and you're just going to dribble, or you're just going to dribble. Sorry guys, that shouldn't be there. If you're just going to dribble, all the defenders are going to do are just going to keep pressuring you, and eventually you're going to lose the ball and your teammates are going to be mad at you. So remember, when you're passing, look for through balls, passes into space, cutting the defense. That's what you should be looking for. What you should be thinking is that you should be trying to score as quickly as possible, but at the same time, know when to slow down. You should be controlling the tempo of the play. You should be able to tell your team should know that whenever you're upping your tempo, they should be upping the tempo. When you are slowing down, they should be slowing down. You control the tempo of the match. For this role, you need to have good decisions and awareness. This means having your head on the swivel. You should be constantly looking and analyzing. See who's where and who's where on the other team, on your team. Look where their space is. Look where the next pass could be. This is how players at the professional level are able to make one-time passes, because they've looked and they see where their player is. This isn't easy to master, but once you do start doing it, you'll realize that it's easier. So there's not really any drills offhand that I can give you, but I'll give you something that you can work on during the training. If you train with the team, focus in the next training session. Focus on having your head on the swivel. Focus on analyzing. Don't try to dribble. Try to focus on basically keeping short passes or long passes. Try to focus on controlling that tempo. And the only way you're going to control the tempo truthfully is if you have good decisions and awareness. You should always be scanning before you receive the ball, after you receive the ball. Who's coming towards me? Is there anyone near me? Can I turn and go to the goal? These are things you should constantly be thinking about. And the first step that you have to do to reach this is practice it. So like I said, go to training. If you're training with a team, or you're training with anyone that is a team, go ahead and practice that in practice. Don't just go ahead and go to practice and just do whatever. That's just a waste of your parents' money, your money, and frankly, your time. Go out there with a goal, and with a goal like this in mind, you will get better. You spend a week constantly focused on this and training, constantly looking up, trying to see who's where, and then eventually first-time passes will come. And when they come, guys, it's going to look amazing. People are going to be like, wow, what an amazing player. He just made that one-time pass over the whole defense. How do you even see him? It's because you look before. Improve that. I guarantee you, if your decisions and awareness are excellent, you can become a professional player. Not like at any level. I'm talking almost any level. If you have great decisions and great awareness, then teams are going to fight for you. You will be a very important. If you're taking anything away from this, know that if having decisions and awareness more than anything else, more than ball control, more than passing, more than anything else, that will take you above and beyond, because people at your age don't usually have that. Let's look at shooting. Shooting is pretty simple. Playing this position, you're going to have to shoot from distance. You're going to have to be able to shoot basically from anywhere, because you never know when you'll need to shoot. What I recommend for you guys is that if you're just a left-footed player, work on your right foot. For not just shooting, but for everything. If you're an attacking mid who can use both feet, like I'll give you an example, Kevin De Bruyne, who can use both of his feet, you can see how unstoppable he is. He's absolutely sensational. Being able to shoot, to be able to play this position with both feet would make a defender's life absolute hell. So you guys, I need you to understand that the more complete you are in this position, the more you have. I want to say the sky's the limit, but no, it's not. It's beyond that. These are areas that I'm listing, these 4 subtopics. Take them into mind. Practice this. Practice distance shooting. Practice shooting with your weaker foot. Decision and awareness. Work on that during training. Work on it with a friend if you can. There are plenty of ways you can learn how to improve on your decisions and awareness. You just have to be able to look and find it. Passing, focus on those kind of stuff during the training. In fact, if you guys are training on a team, look to improve all of this, not just decisions and awareness. Look how to improve on all of this during your training. One day you say, all right, I'm going to focus on my shooting. I'm going to try shooting from distance. Focus on what technique I need. And then improving on that. If it's not working, focus on what you're doing. Alright? First touch. I believe this is the last one. This is crucial. First touch is crucial in this position. As I've said, a lot of this stuff is. But first touch, this was what really separates the players, the men's from the boys, actually. Because this first touch, depending on your first touch, depends how the play will build up. If your first touch can be an instant pass into space, that's going to take the entire opposition out of the game. It's going to take them out for a brief second. Your first touch will only be as good as your decisions and awareness. Truthfully. Your first touch can only be so good. It's good that you can control the ball, but it's different when you're able to actually make touches. The first touch makes sure that they move in the right direction. That you can take a first touch into space automatically and take away a defender. A player who can take away a defender with one touch, that's a sublime player. That's someone you don't want to play against. That's someone like Iniesta. That's someone like Xavi, like Messi, like all these great, amazing players who play in this position, and not just this one, and multiple. Look on improving the first touch, because, as I said, you're only as good as your decisions. Your first touch, it shouldn't be necessarily always to control the ball. It should be, once again, your head on the swivel. If there's space behind you, just take one touch where the ball goes into that space, turn on the defender, and you're golden. But once again, all of this, truthfully, means nothing if you're not able to make decisions and you're not able to have good awareness. Once you have that, I'll say it again because I can't go any farther into how important this is. Your decisions and awareness would separate you from players who can go on to a higher level, the highest platform in the game. Alright, here's a list of players that I guys recommend you should watch. And I mean watch doesn't necessarily just mean waiting to watch them during an absolute game. I mean go on YouTube, look up tactical profiles, tactical analysis, how to play like Isco, how to play like Ozil, Silva, Iniesta. I mean research on your own. I mean you guys should be able to find this stuff on YouTube, if not all of them, for at least half of them. But besides that, focus on these guys. These guys are professionals. There's no reason for you to learn the hard way when you have people doing it the right way on TV for years. So go ahead, look up who it is, but please bear in mind that everybody is different. There's a difference between an attacking mid who's 6'2" and one who's 5'3". Yeah, it's obviously the height, but one's probably going to be stronger. One's probably going to have an aerial game. He's going to be different than the smaller one. Please note that everybody is different. Last time saying that. You have to choose a player to emulate to become them, or that you already have some similarities. If you're small like Isco, if you're really good at keeping the ball close to you, emulate him. If you're someone like De Bruyne, who's 2-footed, tall, strong, dynamic player, emulate him. If you're someone like Muller, who's truthfully a very intelligent player who likes to be on the end of scoring moves, looks to score all the time, look at him. Don't just think all these players, just because they play in the same position or the same type of, pretty much in the same position. Don't just think they're all the exact same. They all have different quirks about them. All have different little things about them that separate them. Alright, thank you guys for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe. Please follow me on social media. You can see it in the description box below. Don't forget to check out my program, my 2-week program on controlling the ball like Iniesta. It's free. And please note that I do personal guides for $35. Please email me at my email down below, maestro.jc7@gmail.com. Send me an email, ask me to make a personalized guide.